Let's look at a problem with a little bit bigger numbers. So we have a 12 here, so now we've got a 2-digit number, and we're going to multiply by a 1-digit number. So 12 times 4. So what I want to do first of all with this problem is that I want to line up my numbers vertically. So I'm going to take the 12 first, and I'm going to write my 12. And then over here, I'm going to put the symbol of multiplication so that I remember that I'm working on a multiplication problem, and my line here. Now I want to make sure that I line up the digits that are in the ones place, lined up with one another. So in my 12, the 2 is in the ones place. And in my 4, the 4 is in the ones place. So I'm going to line up my 2 and the 4. First of all, I'm going to start by multiplying the 4 by the ones place of the 12. And so that's the 2. So I'm going to start out by multiplying 4 times 2, or 2 times 4. And I'm going to get the answer, my product of 8. And I'm going to put the product in the ones place right below the 2 and the 4 in my answer. So I want to make sure that the 8 goes here. 2 times 4 equals 8. Or 4 times 2 equals 8. Secondly, I want to multiply the 4 by the number that's in the tens place. And in this case, the number that's in the tens place of my 12 is the number 1. And so I'm going to multiply 4 times 1, or 1 times 4, and my product is 4. And so I'm going to place the 4 right here in the tens place of my answer. So I want you to make sure that when you're doing these problems, you line up your digits that are in the ones place in the problem really nicely, and make sure you line up the digits that are in the ones place of the answer or the product really nicely and neatly, and then make sure that you put the answer that's in the tens place over here properly in its position here, so that you're making sure that you have your answers nice and clear and neat and organized. So we can see that 12 times 4 equals 48. Let's look at one more example. This time we are going to multiply a 3-digit number by a 1-digit number. So 231 times 3. I want to first of all line up my problem vertically. So I'm going to do 231 and then my multiplication symbol or times, and I want to make sure that my 3 goes in the position of the ones place. And so in my 231, this 1 is in the position of the ones place. And so I want to make sure that my 3 is lined up right underneath the 1. And then I get to work. So I start out by multiplying 3 by the number, by the digit that's in the ones place. 3 times 1 is 3, and I write my answer here nice and neatly in the ones place. And then I multiply the 3 by the digit that's in the tens place. In this case, it's a 3. So I'm multiplying 3 times 3, which equals 9. And I want to really neatly then write my 9 in the tens place of my answer. And then lastly, I move over to the left and I multiply my 3 by the digit that's in the hundreds place. And so in this example, it's a 2. So I know 3 times 2 equals 6, or 2 times 3 equals 6, and I write my answer, the product, really carefully here in the hundreds place. And so, doing my work step by step, I can solve even really large problems like 231 times 3 equals 693.